Hi students, good morning. In the previous video classes, we have learned two chapters that are chemical effects of electric current and some natural phenomena. Today, we are going to learn another chapter in our syllabus, that is fourth chapter, metals and non-metals. Simply, what are these metals and non-metals? Simply, metals and non-metals means that are different substances. In our day-to-day life, we use different things made of different substances. Some of them are our cooking utensils, ornaments. Next, some other substances like chalk paste, water. Like that, we use different substances in our day-to-day life. As we look around us, we observe different substances. Or in our day-to-day life, we use different substances. Simply, all these substances is called as matter. Means the food we eat, the water we drink, the air we breathe, sand, air. Next, water, soil, rocks, our chalk piece, board. All these are made of different types of matter. Like that, how many substances we have? Innumerable number of substances. We have innumerable number of substances. How all these substances are, that means how this matter is made up of. All these substances are made of tiny particles, very small particles called atoms. Tiny particles means how small are these? These are very small beyond our imagination. For example, as per your imagination, what is the smallest? That may be living or non-living. Virus is the smallest. If we take virus is the smallest particle. What we call these tiny particles? These are smaller than these virus. That means every matter is made of tiny particles called as atoms. These tiny particles means these are very small beyond our imagination. These tiny particles are called as atoms or molecules. What are these? These are called as atoms or molecules. Simply, we have how many atoms? Till today we have 118 atoms like hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. Like all these are atoms. Okay, and again these atoms are combined and what are formed? Molecules are formed. For example, water molecule H2O, carbon dioxide molecule CO2, oxygen molecule O2. Like that, these atoms are combined and what are formed? Molecules are formed. Simply, these atoms or molecules are nothing but the tiny particles, which are the constituents of different types of matter. These matter means substances are classified into two categories. What we call these elements and compounds. In 8th class already we have learnt about these elements and compounds. Simply, elements means it is a substance which contains only one type of particle. What is element? The substance which contains only one type of particle, that are called as elements. And what are compounds? The substances which contains different types of constant particles, that are called as compounds. And we define these elements and compounds in another way. How? Simply, element means a substance is taken. That substance is broken by chemical reactions. Chemical reactions means by applying heat or by applying electricity or by applying light. That means in the presence of light or in the presence of heat or in the presence of electricity, a substance is not splitted into further simpler components. That is called as element. What is element? A substance which cannot be broken down into simpler substances by chemical reactions, by electrochemical reaction or photochemical reaction or thermal decomposition reaction. If we can't split a substance further into simpler substances, that are called as elements. Simply, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, nitrogen, oxygen, all these are elements. That means simply we have 115 elements. Okay, next compound. What is compound? Compound means that is made of different type of particles. Means again by chemical reactions we can easily splits into further components. That is called as a compound. Then what is compound? A substance which can be split into further components, that is called as compound. Some of the examples are water, carbon dioxide, sand means silicon dioxide, hydrochloric acid. We observe different acids in our chemical lab: hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, acetic acid. All these are what? Compounds. For example, in your lower classes we have learned, when electricity is passed through acidified water, it splits into hydrogen and oxygen gas. What is that? When electricity passes through acidified water, it splits into hydrogen and oxygen. That means by electrochemical reaction, this water, which is a substance, can be split into further two substances, hydrogen and oxygen. That's why it is a compound, like that. Okay, next, whatever may be the substances, that means what we call as elements. Again, these elements are classified into two categories, that are metals and non-metals. It is the fourth chapter in our syllabus. Okay, let us learn about these metals and non-metals. Till today, scientists have discovered 118 elements. Here 115 is given. In these 118, 3 are predicted. That's why known elements at present are 115. Okay, some more may be discovered in our future. Till today 115. What we call these elements, totally these elements are classified into two categories, metals and non-metals. Okay, that means if we take these 115 elements, there are similarities as well as differences in the properties of these elements. Similarities and properties, differences. Similarities means, for example, if we take oxygen, nitrogen and carbon dioxide, these three are in gaseous state. That means similar properties. Next, they are different. They are differ in their physical properties or other chemical properties. Okay, like that, on the basis of physical properties. Okay, if we take anything, two types of properties: physical properties and chemical properties. Okay. Physical properties means simply, if we mention color, okay, length, state of a substance, density, that are physical properties. Chemical properties means that substance reacts with another substance and what is formed, if we express like that, that are chemical properties. That's why on the basis of their properties, that may be physical properties or chemical properties, all the elements, that means 115 elements, are classified into two main groups. What are they? Metals and non-metals. Yet one more group is also there, that are semi-metals or metalloids. But in this section, we are going to learn about metals and non-metals. Okay, about semi-metals or metalloids, we will learn further in detail. Now about metals and non-metals. In our day-to-day life, we use these metals as well as non-metals also. That means we use a large number of compounds. Again, then simply observe how many substances or compounds are there. Large number. Of all these large number of compounds are formed from these 115 elements. Okay, that's why simply chemistry is the branch of science which deals with chemicals. Chemicals means all the chemicals are formed from these 115 elements. This simply chemistry is the branch of science which deals with 115 elements. And we, in our day-to-day life, we use a large number of compounds that are made of metals and non-metals. Then how can we categorize these metals and non-metals? We can easily classify these elements into two groups, say metals and non-metals, based on some physical properties. First, about physical. What are the important physical properties of these metals? That means based on metallic luster, hardness, malleability, ductility, sonority, All these are which type of properties? Metals. Okay. Based on these properties, we can classify these metals and non-metals. That means we can group easily these metals and non-metals. That means the easiest way to start grouping the substances into metals and non-metals is done by comparing their physical properties. What are the physical properties? First one is metallic luster. For example, in our day-to-day life, we use some things that may be cooking utensils or ornaments or electrical conducting wires. Okay, if we observe, all these have which type of surface? Shiny surface. That means they appear as glowing. Okay, this property of a metal which appeared as glowing, that is called as metallic luster. What is that? Metallic luster. That means metals in their pure state having a shining surface. That means they appear as glowing. This property is called as what? Metallic luster. In their pure state means generally all these metals are not available in pure native state in the earth's crust. They are available in the form of minerals or ores. When it is in the form of compound state, it has no shiny surface. From that compound, this metal is extracted. Whenever this metal is extracted, it has a shiny surface. For example, aluminium. What is the ore of aluminium? Bauxite. It is an ore of aluminium. When it is in the form of ore, is it have shiny surface? No. When from the aluminium is separated from this ore, then this aluminium has a shiny surface. Okay, aluminium, gold, copper, okay, all these have shiny surface. That's why all these are metals. Next, another physical property of these metals is hardness. Generally in our day-to-day life, we observe different constructions. Can we imagine any construction without metal? No. In all constructions, what are used? Metals are used. Bridges, buildings, dams, okay. Next, industrial equipment. In all these, what are used? Different metals. Why these metals are used in all these cases? Why? All these are very hard. Okay, these are very hard. This hardness, this property is only for metals, not for non-metals. Metals. That's why the metals are used in constructions. Observe in this diagram, bridges. Okay, very large bridges. These are constructed by using these metals. Okay. Next, another important properties are malleability and non-malleability. Okay, that means up to now, which properties we have learned? That are luster and hardness. This luster and hardness are for metals, but for non-metals, these are not exist. Next, another important property is malleability. What is this malleability? Malleability means simply take a metal object. If that metal is beaten with a hammer or somewhat very hardly, then what happens? That can be made into thin sheet. This property of metals which can be made into thin sheets, that is called as malleability. For example, food packings. In that food packings, what is there? Aluminium or somewhat a metal is used as a thin layer. Okay, how can be made into a thin layer? By using its malleability. That means some metals can be beaten into thin sheets. This property of metal which can be made into thin sheets, that is called as malleability. But this malleability is not same for all metals. It is different for different metals. For example, if we gold and silver, which are used to make ornaments, these are the most malleable metals. Okay, but what I told, luster, next strength, this malleability or ductility, these are not same for all metals. It is different for different metals. Some metals are more malleable, and some metals have moderate malleability, and some metals have least malleable, like that. but all the metals are malleable. Next, another property is ductility. In our homes or in other ways, what are used as electric conductors? Mostly copper wires, but in main lines aluminum or iron is also used. These wires which are used to draw electricity, okay, which are used to pass electricity, that are in the form of wires, okay, not in the form of sheet or not in the form of a bulk matter, not like that. Okay, these are in the form of thin wires. Okay, how these are drawn into thin wires? By using the property of ductility of metals. That means these metals have a ability. Which type of ability? Which can be drawn into thin wires. This property of metals which can be drawn into thin wires, that is called as ductility. By using this ductility, that can be made into thin wires. Again, this ductility is also different for different metals. For example, generally what are used to make ornaments? Gold. If we take just 1 gram of gold, this 1 gram of gold can be drawn into a wire of length some kilometers. That means this much of ductility is there for gold. Just how much gold is taken? Just 1 gram. This 1 gram of gold can be drawn into a wire of very large length. It is very surprise. Okay, even it is strength is low, but it can be drawn into large wire by using this which property? Ductility. Okay,